What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, all the other type of YouTuber stuff. That is my oven preheating for something else that I'm doing in my kitchen at the moment. Excuse that. Um, yeah, like, share, subscribe, all the other type of YouTuber stuff. Y'all saw the title, y'all saw the thumbnail, y'all know what we're making. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Okay, so oddly enough, the first thing we're gonna do is bring a pot. This is like a soup pot. Um, one of them type of pots. I don't know exactly what type of pot this would be considered, but I would call it a soup pot because this is a pot I'd cook soup in. Um, to simmer, not a boil. We want the water to simmer, the bubbles to just start forming and steam. To just be coming off the top. You can see the little bubbles at the bottom right now, and we're gonna let that come to a simmer while we prepare what's gonna go into this water. Okay, so as you can see, I have two bowls here. One is kind of a medium-sized bowl, one is a small bowl. The small bowl is where we're going to put our wet ingredients and combine those together. The bigger bowl is where our dry ingredients are going to go. So we're going to start in the bigger bowl with, this is half a cup of Vital Wheat gluten flour. I use Bob's Red Mill. You can find it at like a health food store, that type of thing. I've never found it in my local Walmart. It might be in yours though, or if you got a Publix in your area or something like that, might be up in there. I've never found it in there though, but every store is different. So, and then we're gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. This I did find in Walmart. I wasn't able to find it in Walmart until very recently, but it's in Walmart now. Okay, now we're gonna add our seasonings to our dry ingredients. I typically don't measure, but if you wanna measure, I generally just eyeball it. But if you wanna measure, you can do about a fourth a teaspoon of each of these, except for the taco seasoning that's gonna go in um, last for the dry ingredients. That you're gonna do a full teaspoon, but we're gonna go in with some ground paprika, some Creole seasoning, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, and our taco seasoning. And mix that together. One more thing I forgot to add, salt. Now mix it one more time. Okay, now for our wet ingredients, we're gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of water, tablespoons of vinegar. I'm using white. You can use apple cider if you so choose. Both make this come out with a pretty decent flavor. Um, 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Yes, ketchup. Just trust the process. That's one. And that's two. And last, we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil to this. And whisk all that together. And then we're gonna add it into our dry ingredients. And I like to and you don't have to do it this way, this is just the way I prefer to do it. I like to make a little well in the middle of the dry ingredients, um just for the wet to go in, um so that it kind of mixes better. I used my hands. Yes, my hands are clean. Before y'all come for me in the comments, yes, I clean my hands when I cook, even if I'm just cooking for me. So we're gonna add that in, and we're gonna mix that together, just until all of the um, gluten flour is, um, what's the word? Wet, moistened. We don't want to. Point is, we don't want to work this too much. The less we work it, the better. So we're gonna mix all that together. Okay, so you're left with this kind of pinkish, kind of like medium rare type pink mush, and of course we're not done yet, so we're gonna transfer that to a cutting board and kind of flatten it out, and then cut it into even size strips. And then after we do that, I'll talk about what we're gonna do next. Okay, I cut mine into about 1 inch strips, um, just to get a decent amount of surface area. And next, we're gonna wrap these up in the foil, in a sheet of foil, and that water that we started simmering at the beginning of this, this is gonna go into that wrapped in the foil, and we're gonna let that steam, just to kind of get this nice and tender for about 45 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, it's on the foil now. I'm just gonna fold the foil over on itself, and then just kind of roll up the sides, just so we can seal it at the ends. And then we're gonna roll it up again, just so we get as little water leaking into here as possible. It's inevitable that some is gonna leak into there, but that's fine. We just don't want it to soak in the water. We want the foil to soak in the water, but not our meat. So now we're gonna put this in our pot of water. Okay, we're gonna drop that and cover it with a lid and let that sit for 45 minutes. And then once the 45 minutes are up, then we're gonna turn this into a vegan ground meat. Okay, we're back 45 minutes later. Now we're gonna fish these out with tongs, because if I do it with my hand, it's gonna really hurt. So we're gonna let the water drain as much as possible. Then we're gonna transfer this to a cutting board and unwrap this, and we're just gonna what is the word I'm looking for? Mince. Yeah, we're just gonna mince this. Um, just gonna chop it up until it just is like ground meat. All right, and now we have our vegan ground meat. Um, so you cook this the same way you would a store bought, you know, vegan alternative. Um, just cook it with a little oil until it's brown and it's ready to eat. It has a very meaty texture to it. It goes great in in recipes like shepherd's pie, tacos, um, things like that. So, before I forget, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check out the link down below in the description box. Feel free to comment suggestions on what type of content y'all want to see on the channel, and I will see y'all next week for another video.